Las Vegas, I am headed to Resorts World Theater September 27th and 28th. 2 shows only. Get your tickets at BertBertBert.com.
This thing that's been part of you is removed. There's just so much that goes along with that.
And now they're like, oh, keep them alive while also keeping yourself alive after you've gone through this like whole medical situation. And all they check is to make sure you have a car seat. Like, oh, you have a car seat, you're good to go. Like, excuse me. Like, there's so many other questions that I have. And like, I'm just supposed to go home.
Hey guys, make sure to check out the Bert and LeeAnn bundle, the best of both worlds bundle at BertBertBert.com for $40 today.
That's right. Check out the best of both worlds bundle with Bert and LeeAnn stuff starting today, $40 a bundle. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You look so good.
Oh, thank you.
Do you feel good?
It like goes, but yeah, I feel good, mostly good.
You look good.
Okay, thank you. No, that feels good to hear because, you know, it's a whole new, I don't know.
Something just went boom, crash.
Just like shook a little.
I know, right?
Not an earthquake, but something.
Somebody fell.
Yeah.
Or something fell. I know last time I saw you were having a lot of feelings.
Yes. I think that was like what? Probably 2 months ago.
Was it that long?
Yeah. It was just when my mom left, which was like, he was like 8 weeks when my mom left. So.
And how old is he
He's
now?
almost 4 months now. So.
He's not.
Yes.
Are you kidding?
No, in like 2 weeks.
Holy cow.
3 weeks.
Boy, time is flying by.
I know. But like, I mean, I know I'm so fresh to this still, but you just need time to like figure it out. And then once you figure it out, new things arise. But then you just like feel more confident in like what you're doing, which I did not have 2 months ago.
Right. So you, for those listening, you just had a baby.
I did.
It's almost 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Little
insane.
miles.
Were you planning on having a baby?
I've always wanted to be a mom. Yes, but not at that time that it happened. So he was a little bit of a surprise for me and my fiance, but I mean, the best surprise. And I remember I called Cotty a little bit right after, like essentially right after it happened. And she was like, you'll never feel ready. Like even when you are planning for it, you would probably react the same way that you're reacting now. And so just lean in. So from that moment on, I really just leaned in and here we are.
That's so crazy.
I know, but it's so not like me. I'm like a Capricorn planner who like loves a routine and a schedule. And that is not how this happened. But
and that's not how babies are entirely.
Exactly. No, I was pregnant when we went to Red Rock for Bert's show.
Wait, did I know that?
No, I didn't know that at the time.
I was going to say, I don't think I knew that.
No, I didn't know that. No one knew that.
Did you party at Red Rocks?
Oh, I sure did.
Oh my God.
I sure did. And it was the week like after one of my best friends had just gotten married. So I was really having a time.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I was pregnant with Georgia. The same thing happened. Oh my God. I couldn't sleep and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't sleep because I sleep like the dead.
Yeah, same.
Bert was like, just take some Xanax. And so he gave me some Xanax. He went out of town and Annie, their sister, and I painted my apartment. So I we made a picture of margaritas. I took a Xanax and painted the apartment. Like 2 days later, I found out I was pregnant. I was like, what?
You're like, oh.
I'm birthday facts.
Just like put every substance in your body. Yeah, no, that was me at Red Rock.
Yes.
So, and here he is to tell the tale.
And he's totally fine. Yeah, he knows how to party.
Sure does.
That's
sure
so
does.
funny.
It's in his blood. So
do you feel like, because you're a Capricorn planner, do you feel like this is the best way it could have happened?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, because like I would have wanted everything to like be in a certain order, like for things to like look a certain way. And not that I don't have my life together, but like it wasn't like the time that I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. And now I just can't imagine it going any differently because I wouldn't have him and I wouldn't be where I am with him and like figuring it out as we are if it was any different. And so I just kind of just going with the flow now. Totally. And then that's like, I feel like just like life now, right? Going with the flow and figuring it out as it comes along. Cause I mean, every day is different.
Every day's different.
Every day's different.
I think that's a huge gift because Bert and I got pregnant with Georgia on the pill. And when that happens, when it's like that.
Yeah. Wait, no, I just like, that just registered. That's also another thing. My brain is like slower than it has ever been before.
It'll come back.
But on the pill.
Yeah, I was on the pill.
my gosh.
And so what that did for me was just allow me to totally lean into it and surrender.
Well, because I mean, if Georgia made it through the pill,
she was supposed to be here, right? She was meant to be here.
Wow. Okay. She was like determined.
Yes. That, and it made me very clear about my choice with Bert. Not that I was unclear.
Yeah.
But like that kind of divine intervention, so to speak, it gives you like a surety.
Yeah.
Right? No, this is my path.
Yeah.
And so it makes walking the path, I think, easier.
Yeah. And clearer, I'd say, probably.
Clear is a good way to look at that.
Because, like, I mean, we aren't married yet, and we know we want to get married, but there's like, had we not already had Miles, I feel like that is almost an easier question. Like, I would sooner say yes to getting married to someone than I would having a baby with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, now that we've already done this side of it, it's like there's definitely no questions about like our future and like where we see it going and how we want it to go. Which is great that you have Miles to kind of like show us that clarity, because it is nice to kind of have that like feeling in your heart already going into something that like we're already legally bound essentially by our kids. So now the rest of it seems easier.
Seems simple, right?
Yeah.
It does. And also, having a baby, especially in the beginning, so much of your priorities and your focus has to shift because you're keeping this little thing alive, that I think it's kind of where the rubber meets the road for a couple. You really see who your teammate is. And not just like, I don't mean like you do 50%, I do 50%. That's not possible. As a mom, you just do more. You just have to. It's just the nature of the business. You can't really go like, nope, I wash the bottles and it's your turn for everything. You drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
But then it's like how the partner shows up, like emotionally, that really matters.
Yeah.
Or at least that was my opinion.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. And like, I mean, we're still going into it. In the very beginning, I know that it'll constantly be changing, like a give and take, and like what we are now to each other versus what we have to be for him. But I mean, I picked someone who is so rational and like so level-headed that it feels nice, because in this moment, like I feel so sporadic and like out of my mind a little bit. And so even when I'm getting frustrated with myself or with him, like he can remain kind of neutral is the wrong word, but he's just stable. And like that is someone that I couldn't imagine having anyone meeting me in an unstable place, given the fact that I feel so unstable so often, that because that's already a different experience for me to have to like figure out like how I feel about it. That like if he was also like that, it would be too much.
It would destabilize you too much.
Yes.
Yeah. So you need that stability.
Yeah. And having and just like seeing, like I knew that about him already, but like now seeing it in action is like a whole different story, because like they don't prep you for like what is going to happen after you push that little thing out.
What are you most surprised about after?
I obviously like was enthralled and in love with him from like the moment I met him and like had him earthside with me. But like I just remember being in those first couple of days like crying all the time.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't sure. So I think some of it was like a sense of sadness. Like I wasn't sad, but there was like sadness and anxiety and happiness and love and frustration, like all swirled into one. And like the only way that my body knew how to compute that was to cry.
Right.
And I was so thrown off by that.
Really?
I did not know that that's what it would be like. And I just thought the only thing I was going to feel was, oh my God, I love my baby so much. And I had those feelings, but I was like I could cry thinking about it right now. But I was just like, because I love him. Like I look at him now and I'm like I just like burst with joy. But like at the time, like I thought I was going to burst with
so many other things. I know it's very complicated, and what's difficult about it, I think, when you prepare somebody or you talk to a friend that's having a baby, is I don't think there's a repeated experience on the planet. Like what happened for you, someone may have something similar, but it's never the same.
Yeah.
Right? And there's so much going on with your hormones, understandably, You just grew another person and then pushed them out of your body or had them removed. Either way, this thing that's been literally a part of you is removed. There's just so much that goes along with that. And now they're like,
oh, keep them alive while also keeping yourself alive after you've gone through this like whole medical situation, and like they're yours now. And you're like, and all they check is to make sure you have a car seat.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have a car seat, you're good to go. Like, excuse me. Like, there's so many other questions that I have. And like, I'm just supposed to go home. Like,
there's no certification I need.
I mean, like, and we were in the NICU for a couple of days. So like, we had to like, I was discharged the night before. So even that experience, like I remember going home and I cried because we didn't have him. And then we got him the next day and we took him home and I cried because we had him. Because I was like, what now? Like, what is meant to happen? So yeah, it's just wild to me that we don't have to take a test.
It's so overwhelming.
We take a driver's test.
Right?
Yeah. Like, we don't have to take a test to do this.
No.
And then they're like, and then I make Troy like Google or Reddit everything. Because I'm like, I don't even want to like mess with my search engine. So anytime I have a question, I'm like, Troy, can you search this on the web for me? Because I'm not falling down that rabbit hole.
Want to know, don't want to know.
Exactly.
Want to know, don't want to know. Has he gotten sick yet?
No, but we both got sick.
Oh, you did?
A month ago.
Oh, yeah?
Like some gnarly cold took us out and it was rough.
Was it?
It was so rough. Like,
well, who took care of him?
So I got sick first. And I was like, I woke up and I was like, I don't feel well. Like, I had to go to urgent care. And I was like, what if I have COVID or the flu? They tested me for everything. I had nothing. And they were just like, you have a cold. So like, I came home and also in the midst of all this, like Troy also has gotten a new job. So we're dealing with new baby, new job. And then like, I think it was like week 4 of him being on the new job. And I'm like, okay, now I'm ill and like, I need to lay down. And so I removed myself. I like just needed to take a nap, and like he like stepped up, like helped with the baby while also like working that day. And then I came out obviously and needed to help, but was just fully masked up. But I'm like, wow, like you can't, like your body just goes into like a fight or flight mode. Cause I was just like, I have no choice. But then we also like, I called Cotty and like got Mimi to come over to help me for 2 days that week. Cause I was like, I need something. Like we're dying over here. And then in the middle of all this, Troy got sick.
Oh gosh.
So I was like, oh my God, like this week is trying to break us. But I mean, that's just life now, I guess. Like it's just what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is. And you know, he'll get sick. And when he gets sick the first time, it's really hard because you feel so bad for them. You can't talk to them and say it's okay. They don't know what you're saying. You don't know to take them to a doctor or not. You don't know what to do. It's really scary the first time they get sick. And then the first time they get really, really like not a cold, like really sick. That's very scary too.
I mean, I'm so quick to call my pediatrician right now, though, which is great because I am not a doctor or person. Like I mean, I went to the doctor, but I'm like I'm not calling for every little thing for myself. But for him, I've called like so many times.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
So I'm like, I'm calling, I'm leaving messages. And like we even since like he now has a physical therapist because he has like torticollis because his neck is tight. And we had to go to a cardiologist the other day. He's all fine. These are all like minor things, but I'm like, I've never been to so many doctor's appointments than I have with this little thing. So,
right?
Yeah.
They never end.
I'm like, there's a pediatrician, a pediatric doctor for everything. I'm like, wow.
For everything.
Yeah.
It still goes on. My 2 kids just went to the pediatrician.
Yeah.
You can go to the pediatrician until you're like 23.
I know. Me and my brothers, I went to our pediatrician for far too long.
Yeah,
Dr. John Pasadena. Shout out because he was great.
Aww.
At one point, I think my brothers called him Uncle John because we also had an Uncle John. And my mom was like 2 different people. Not the same, but I guess you can call him Uncle John if you want to.
If he's okay with it, I guess it's okay. Yeah. Well, so what has been the most surprising thing you've learned about yourself? Have you surprised yourself? And if so, how?
I don't know if I have yet.
Not yet?
I don't know if I have. I'm just proud of myself for just like doing it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm welcoming those like challenges and those moments where I kind of feel like out of sorts because I'm just want to get more comfortable in the uncomfortable of everything just because I can't foresee any of it anymore. Like, I don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow, and trying to figure him out and like understanding what he wants from me without him being able to communicate. Like, I think it's like nice when I'm like, when you're like, oh, you must be tired, and you like get them and they actually fall asleep, and you're like, wow, like I knew that you were tired. Like, just like small things like that make me like happy and like surprised with myself a little bit, because I'm like, how would you know that you're capable of something like that until you start taking care of a little person? Like, you just don't. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just like, I feel, what's the word? I just feel more comfortable in myself. That is, I think, surprising for me, is that I just feel more comfortable.
That's interesting. Just as Nicole, as yourself.
Yes.
You feel more comfortable, like more at home.
Yeah. I think because I've always wanted to be a mom, but I was never the one that's like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And I just, that's what I want with my life always. Like, I've also known that I've wanted to work. Like, I watched my mom worked, and I loved like having that as a role model and having her being a working mom. So I've always wanted to emulate that. So it was never like, I only want to be a mom. Mm-hmm. But I did know that I always wanted to have kids. And so I think now that has happened, and the way it happened just like makes me feel a little bit like, I just feel fulfilled, but not in the sense that it's like, I don't feel like a brand new person. I just feel more like myself.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You just kind of relax.
I don't even think I've like plugged that into my brain until right now.
Until right now?
Yeah.
That's a really great thing to realize.
Yeah. No, it's been... Yeah.
Well, you seem exciting to me, I've known you a long time. Yeah. How long have I known you? 10 years maybe at least?
Not quite. Like 8-ish probably, because that's when I started working for Cotty. But that's almost a decade.
Almost a decade. Yeah. It's a long time. But as you say that, you seem that.
Okay.
Right? You never seemed not yourself.
Yeah.
Or not a part of yourself. But as you say that, that rings true to me where you're concerned. Is that you're like more of yourself or something.
Yeah. It's just added to my life versus like taken away in any way.
But it like grounded you, right? Does that make, does that?
That's definitely what it feels like for sure.
You feel like you were never like flighty or, anything like that. But when you say that, I agree with you. I see what you're saying.
Okay, good.
So it is something that is really like happening.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, because everything right now, it's like, what's actually happening? Like, I do feel a little like I'm floating on like air a little bit. But yeah, no, it does feel very like I just feel like he was forever meant to like be a part of my life.
Wife of the Party is sponsored by Lumi. If you're like me and are always on the hunt for products that genuinely improve your life, then listen up. I'm about to turn you on to one of my absolute favorite products. It's Lumi's acidified deodorant wipes. I have talked about these wipes forever because I keep them with me all the time. Girl Scout trips, especially with teenagers, I love bringing the Lumi deodorant wipes because they're stinky, and it's a super fast and easy way to get life back in order and smelling fresh again. Lumi's whole body deodorant is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, underboobs, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, vulvas, and feet. Created by an OBGYN who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like deodorant wipes or a mini body wash, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code WIFE15 for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code WIFE15 at LumiDeodorant.com. Wife the Party is sponsored by BetterHelp. Kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. What's something you'd like to learn? Gardening, new language, or maybe how to finally beat your best friend in bowling? Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder because your back-to-school era can come at any age. I was just talking about this on a podcast the other day about now that we're about to be empty nesters, we're moving into a new phase of learning. And it might be a good idea for maybe Bert and I to go to therapy together. We've never done therapy together, only separately. Why not do it together? BetterHelp's a great place to start. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/wife today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/wife.
Like, I just feel like he was forever meant to like be a part of my life.
Totally.
Which I can imagine every mom feels like that.
You do. I do.
Yeah.
I feel like my kids were meant to be part of my life for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like they were sent to me for very specific reasons and they sought me out for very specific reasons.
When did you when did you feel like, what's the question? I just totally had
my brain does
brain
it all the
fart.
time. I hate it when my brain does it.
When did you see that in them? I guess when we were you were meant to be my kid. I know you were my kid. From the moment that.
No, not from the moment, but for Georgia it was pretty early.
Yeah.
It was pretty early because she did not want to sleep. She was not a good sleeper.
So you were out of your mind.
I was out of my mind, but I thought to myself, oh, she needs a mommy. She needs someone who understands her. And then as she grew and got older, she has part of Bert's brain where she's a little bit of a criminal.
Yeah.
Where she's going to maybe not tell you exactly the truth so that she can not get in trouble or kind of be a chameleon with people. And some of those behaviors are not in line with our family value system.
Yeah, or who she is.
Or who she actually is.
Yeah.
And that's when she was little, preschool.
Yeah.
And I started seeing that and I went, oh, this is why you're with me.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you're with me. This is one of the reasons you're with me.
Yeah.
Is that I got to keep you real to yourself so you don't lose yourself in the world.
Yeah.
That's why you're with me.
Yeah.
And then what she did for me was she showed me how to love me unconditionally because she loved me unconditionally, even though Bert did.
Yeah.
But it's different when it's an adult.
Yeah.
It's not the same. But when this little thing loved me, just loved me, then I had to start loving myself in a different way.
Yeah.
And Georgia was so similar to Bert. And some of the stuff Bert would do, I would think was total bullshit. And then she would do it and I'd go, hold on. There is no way she learned that.
Yeah.
That's something she came here with.
Yeah.
So now I got to be different to Bert when he does the same thing and realize he's not meaning to do that.
Yeah.
That's just who he is.
Yeah.
Where sometimes I would go come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Really?
Yeah.
And then she'd do it and I'd go, oh yeah, I guess that is really the way he works.
Do you think Isla's more like you?
Isla is very much like me in a lot of ways. She's a little combo cheese, but she's very stubborn like me.
Yeah.
She came here knowing who she is. She has never been a chameleon to be part of a group. She's not afraid to be left out.
Yeah.
She doesn't even feel left out if someone doesn't include her. She's like, okay.
Ugh, I wish I had that.
But she does have some anxiety that I never had.
Yeah.
And that is definitely the Kreischer curse.
Yeah.
Is that anxiety piece. Georgia and Isla both have it.
Yeah.
It looks a little different. Georgia's looks a little bit more like Cottie's. Isla's looks a little bit more like Bert's.
It's I don't know if you've ever heard me joke about this with Cottie, but Bert has Pete and Cottie has me. I'm like, you have emotional support people. They always surround themselves with people that are there to reel them in and keep them in check. Yes. I'm like, wow, you guys are really, the Kreischer genes are strong.
Yes,
sure.
The Kreischer genes are strong. Yeah. That anxiety
God love
piece.
them, but they've got it for sure.
It's part of what makes them brilliant.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But I'm just wow, I don't check into my brain that as much as they do. But it's on the flip side, they check into their brains a lot, which is great because they can they have the anxiety piece, but then they have to work through what they're actually thinking. Cottie's like, sometimes like you just never think about death. And I'm like, not really. Not like you do.
No.
Like not unless I'm watching a show about like a murderer or something. like that doesn't happen.
No, Bert this morning was like, struggling with some anxiety this morning. I was like, what was it about? He's like, I think my liver's failing. And I think that I have skin cancer. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, why?
You have zero symptoms of any of this.
Just a feeling.
Just woke up with anxiety.
He's like, just a feeling.
And
like,
so Isla doesn't really have that, but Isla has like really bad sleep anxiety. She has a really hard time sleeping to the point where she like barricades herself in her room.
Yeah.
And has all of these kind of like, this light has to be on, but this light can't be on. And there's all these like
small
real
things.
serious parameters to what she can have for sleeping.
Yeah.
Where you go like, good luck for you in that dorm room.
I know. How's it? Did she like take things with her? Or like, did she like set it up like a certain
She's
way?
kind of like not dealing with it yet.
Okay.
So I don't know how it's long term, if it's just going to be like, well, sleeping in the same room with somebody is really helpful.
Yeah.
So it takes care of a lot of her anxiety.
Yeah.
So like the light here and the door there and the bed in this corner must go away because there's another person.
Yeah. Did she know her roommate going into it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We met
nice.
her in the spring.
Oh, nice.
And she's lovely, and her parents and her sisters are lovely, and she's great. She has actually 3 roommates.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We met the other 2 when we moved them in, but they're all 4. They're just really good kids.
Awesome. My mom, I think it was like, must have been like 2 weeks ago, was like the 12-year anniversary of when she moved me into NYU, and so she like was getting all these Facebook memories about it. Oh my gosh! And it's just. That's such a like fun time for me to like just think back and like think about moving into my college dorm. Yeah. And like all the things that happened after that, because it's just wild to think about. But I'm so excited for her to like have that experience because it was so much fun.
Me too. It's a crazy time.
It's a great time.
It's a crazy time.
Yeah.
Well, as a parent, as my kids were doing and saying funny things, I kept thinking, I'll remember that forever.
Yeah.
You don't. So someone said to me, you should just sit down as exhausted as you are at the end of every night and write 3 or 4 sentences about your day. And I really wish I'd done that.
Okay.
Because I feel like volumes and volumes of moments are gone forever.
Yeah.
Because I didn't write them down.
Yeah. That's such a good piece of advice. I'm definitely going to take that.
I would do that.
Because I feel like I can't remember things already like 8 weeks ago.
I feel a loss from that. I feel like I've lost like a really important treasure piece or something.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do that. I didn't just sit a journal on my bedside table and go, Isla said this at the dinner table. Georgia did this.
Yeah.
We talked about that. I just don't have it. It's just not in my memory. And
like
I really
the thought of
regret
writing
that.
it down, actually writing it down versus like I love my phone and like we now have like all these photos that I can take of him constantly and like look through. But like who knows, that gets lost all the time. Like you can't always trust the cloud. Like writing it down, I think, no, I love that. I'm going to take that for sure.
Do that,
I'm going
please.
to.
I wish I had done that because there's so many moments of just some of this dumb things they say that are like you laugh and you laugh for days about it. And you go, I know I laughed for days about something, but I have no idea what it was. And it's such a bummer that you lose those little moments.
Yeah.
Write everything down.
I gotta like really start living in this like moment now that I do feel a little bit clearer because in those first couple weeks I was so out of sorts. And now I'm already like looking forward to what that will feel like with my second, even though like we're only 3 months in, like now that I have like clarity on like what it starts to feel like on the other side already, I'm like, wow, I can't wait to like do that again. But I have to just remind myself like to live in this moment with Miles and not worry about like how fast he's gaining weight and all like the little stuff. How many times did he pee today or poop today?
Right.
It's so like clerical sometimes in this moment that just like writing down like the happy emotional memories of it, I think will be, and not even happy, I guess. Maybe one day I'll write like Miles pissed me off today.
Totally.
But I just, like it's not going to be the same. So
you should.
Yeah.
And the person said to me, 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to write a page of a journal. If you do, great.
Yeah.
But don't set yourself up for that kind of.
I know. I've always tried to journal like
the
long,
worst.
terrible.
I'm terrible at
And
it.
at times I've gotten like cute ones and like I'd always write the date and like, oh, I started college today. And then I would never write in it ever again.
I'm the same.
So like three sentences is easy to remember.
Yeah. If you just go 3 and it'll end up being 5 or 6 or whatever. But if you just go, I'm just going to write 3 sentences every day. I really wish I had done that. And so I'm really bummed I didn't do that. I would love to look back at that now because on my nightstand, I kept a couple of gifts the girls made for me as they were growing up. And I just refused to move them off my nightstand.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I'd had something where I just wrote things down, I would just love it so much. Mm-hmm. So what do you think in this short 4 months, what do you think the most important thing that you've learned is just in general?
Just saying what I need. And like, that's obviously a thing that I need to tell Troy, right? Because like, I can't tell Miles what I need. But like, just vocalizing that like, I need this in order to like function has been the most important thing. Because like, I can stew. Like I can stew in silence. That then turns into like anger, which then turns into a grudge. And like, none of that is healthy for me, healthy for our relationship, or healthy for Miles if I'm just like, stewing. And like right now also we're like in an apartment, and so our rocking, like his nursery is also our bedroom, and the rocking chair is like in the corner of our room. And I noticed like whenever I would need something but didn't actually ask for it, I'd just sit in that rocking chair and like rock Miles to sleep and like be in the dark corner like mad and stewing about something that went wrong that day. And I'm just like, that's not healthy. And I just need to be like, I need this from you, even if it's not something he can give me or like do for me. Just saying like, I need to do this, or this has to happen in order for that to happen, has been the most important part, because all that stress like bottled up in you as like a person who's now not whole being, but the majority of my being is for someone else, has been something that I just had to lean into, because I wasn't someone who asked for help often.
You didn't need it.
I didn't need it.
You're very independent, very capable, very bright.
No, I need it.
Smart, intelligent. That's incredible that you learned that so quickly.
Hopefully it sticks. I hope it sticks.
Should make it stick.
Yeah.
Make sure you make it stick, because that is a beautiful gift.
Yeah.
If you really figured that out this fast, you're very, very smart. Yeah.
Well, I do think it's because like my mom was also here helping. Like I was forced to ask for things I needed. And at first I thought like in those first couple of weeks, like because my mom was here, I thought I'm actually not stepping into like Nicole as a mom yet, because my mom's still here helping me figure that out. And I felt more like me without a kid. Like even, still, I'm not fully used to the thought that I'm someone's mom. Like that's still such a strange idea in my head.
I feel the same way. And I've been a mom for 20 years.
I'm like, does that ever come? Because like the thought that someone's going to be like looking to me for like their motherly, maternal advice is like crazy. Yeah. But because I had my mom, I was like, oh, I don't feel like a mom yet, like that. Like, but I was able to like lean on her, lean on Troy, ask for like what I needed, because people were constantly asking me what I needed.
Right.
I think actually probably helped, versus if she wasn't here, I would have
done more,
gone into my shell faster, and then like exactly needed to do more, which then would have caused more anxiety in me. Yeah.
Well, I hope someone listening heard that and can
have your mom move in with you if they can.
Very helpful, right?
Yeah.
I know I was talking to Cotty the day your mom was leaving, maybe?
I think I came here the next day too.
You did. You came here the next day. Cotty's like, she's freaking out. Her mom's leaving. I'm like, she's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Give her 48 hours. She'll be fine, because you realize that you can do this. This has been happening for thousands of years. Yeah. You got it. You can do it.
The cavemen did it. Like cave women, excuse me. The cave women did
Starbucks.
No Starbucks, no epidurals, like no nothing to like help. I'm like, how the heck?
Yeah.
Did we make it through as a race?
It's getting tougher and tougher. These younger generations don't like pain a lot or discomfort.
I mean,
have you heard about these like dance clubs that are open early for the younger generation because they need their sleep?
No.
I'm like, what? I just saw this on Instagram.
Like they open at like 7?
They close at like 10 p.m. So they open at like 5 to 10 or something like that for the young people, the younger generation, because they need their 8 hours of sleep.
Okay, good for them.
Right?
Good for them.
That was not me.
No.
Was that you?
No, I was like out. I was out. But I also wasn't like wild in high school. So by the time I like started like becoming an adult, I was out.
And in New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go to college in New York and like there were no parties. Like you had to like go, you needed a fake ID when you went to college in New York.
And the bar closed at like 4.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I moved back here because I didn't graduate from NYU. I moved back here and then I was like going to frat parties and I hated that. So then I went back out to the LA bars. I was like, you'll catch me on the street, like not at a frat house.
Not at a frat house. No. Did you like New York?
I loved it. I mean, let me think. Yes. I loved New York. I loved the city. I wish that I was able to go back once I was actually a little bit more of an adult. Because when you're 18, I lived there when I was 18 to when I was 20. Like I was a child and never fully got to like live in New York and as an adult. But because I was from here, like I just felt like I grew up so fast, like in an environment that I was like meant to. Like it wasn't like I needed. It wasn't like sometimes you hear like I had to grow up so fast because like something happened.
Hardships.
To me. Yeah. Not hardships. That was like a great opportunity for me to go and like be in the city and learn new things. And I was also, I feel like you know this, but I used to be really fat in high school. Do you know this?
I do know that, yeah.
Used to be really chunky.
Yeah.
And I moved to New York and I started dropping weight. And I also think, not that like weight isn't everything, but I just was like living a new healthy lifestyle and taking care of myself and like going to the gym because I wanted to, not because I felt like I needed to. And
you walk so much in New York.
Walking so much in the city. Like I just felt healthier and like a different version of myself that I didn't get here. Like in high school, I remember feeling like I just wanted to always fit in and like assimilate. And like I had friends and I love my friends. Like I'm still friends with some of my friends from high school. But there were definitely relationships or times I look back on where I was fully just like trying to fit in and assimilate and like be part of the cool club. And once I like became friends with those people, like just like doing whatever I could to like stay in that group or that environment that I kind of felt like a doormat all the time. And then I remember I went to college and I was not that person anymore.
Right.
And just like being around brand new people and needing to talk and meet new people and make friends was something that was so like exciting for me because it was just like I got to start all over again.
Yeah.
And so I like loved New York for that. And then I came to USC, loved USC too. And I do wish I like got a chance to move to New York at some time in my adult life just to kind of experience that again. But I mean, I started working for Cody eight years ago. So haven't left since then.
You must like your job.
I do. I like the people I work with.
Yeah, right? You're good at it.
I think it's the organizer in me for sure. I can like keep a schedule and a budget, and that's what PR and events basically is all the time. So
right. How did you know you wanted to do that?
I actually was a PR major. I feel like that never happens, that you like major in what you then go in, and then I have not interviewed for another job since the moment I got this job, actually.
That's
which
crazy.
is amazing and crazy because I don't feel like that happens to
never
people.
It happens never.
Yeah, so I'm very lucky to like have found this. But I started as a drama major, but my mom being the kind of tiger mom that she is, I applied half for drama and half for communications. I knew I was always like kind of interested in PR and communications, but she just really wanted to make sure that I got into college. So I applied into like 24 colleges.
Oh my gosh.
12 of which for drama.
Oh
NYU being that one. So I was like, I'm going to go to Tisch and got into Tisch. And so that was very excited. I thought I was destined for Broadway, but then the other 12 were for comms majors. So that when I decided I didn't want to pursue acting anymore, I just immediately changed my major to PR and kind of fell into that.
So what made you decide not to be an actor?
I used to have a speech impediment as a kid. I used to have I had a lazy R. So like all my R's were soft R's. Mm-hmm. And then I just remember going back to class one day, and this specific class, the reason I bring it up was dialect class. And they were talking to all of us about like the different ways to read the phonetic alphabet and how we could like read it and kind of like learn new accents because of it. I remember looking around and like everyone was so excited to be there. And then the next class was like Shakespeare, and everyone was so excited to take the Shakespeare class. And I cried every class that day because I was like, if I don't feel like I want to do this now, like I cannot do this for another 4 years and then have a BFA and decide I don't want to be an actress. Like it just felt too hard and I hadn't even started. So I was like, okay, time to get out. Not for me. Sometimes I'm like, what if I tried a little harder? But I'm like, the passion would have been there.
No.
And the passion wasn't there.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's the thing about, I was just talking to someone, I had a meeting before this. I was like, choosing something different is not quitting.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
And I think we as a society think when someone chooses something different, we view it as quitting. And it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you should be able to choose something different. If something's not working for you, choose something different.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Change your major.
Yeah.
Change your job. Change your career.
Changed my major, transferred schools, and here we are.
And
haven't changed anything ever after that, but
that's so crazy. I did not know that Cotty was basically your first job. And so what, for people listening, you're in events and awards for Disney, Hulu.
All the Disney TV partners.
It was 20th Century Fox, wasn't it?
Was 20th Century Fox. Then it was Fox 21 and 20th TV. And now it's Disney.
What's the favorite part of your job? What do you like the best about your job?
I love that I can just kind of do everything. Like awards and events is such like a microcosm of like TV publicity because that's what I first started and was just focused on the PR side of it. But the award side, like you get to do publicity, you get to do events, you get to like work on creative for media. Like it's just you get to touch so many small parts of it and like you basically create your own FYC campaign when like on the other side for just PR, you're just working on the PR side of it. You're not really like touching the events as much or like the ads. Like that's not stuff that you touch on. You're just purely focused on press. When the award side, you can touch so much of it. But I also think like I didn't know this job or like this type of job existed before I got to PR, and I was on Cotty's team and she kind of was the one who our team was going through a restructure and she needed an assistant and was kind of like pitching me on why I should be awards and why I should work for her. And hell, it worked because here we are 7 years later.
It worked.
Yeah.
She was right.
She's good at what she's a good salesperson, that one.
Yes, she's very persuasive.
Sure is.
She and her brother are very persuasive.
Yeah.
Wife of the Party is sponsored by DraftKings. If you've ever wanted to bet on sports and felt intimidated, I totally get it. How do you get started? How do you do it? With so many options, who can you trust? My friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, are making it easier than ever. There's nothing easier than betting on touchdowns, and DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Placing your first bet is simple. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select a sport like NFL. Select an option like TD scorers. Pick who you think will score and place your bet. Super easy. I mean, improve your fantasy football game by adding this piece to it. I'm personally planning on doing that. We have a fantasy football league at our company, and I'm going to start betting on touchdowns. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code LeeAnn, that's code LeeAnn, for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Wife of the Party is sponsored by Shopify. When you think about companies with healthy sales like Magic Spoon or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, an attractive brand, and marketing that lifts a heavy load. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business making selling, and for shoppers buying, really simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not-so-secret secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. What I like about Shopify is it's so user-friendly. For me, I am not super tech savvy, but I can go on my Shopify website and see what my sales are, see what is trending on my own site, and it just makes inventory easy. It's just such a great platform and super user-friendly. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Birdie Boy Productions uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/wife, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/wife, lowercase wife, to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/wife. That's so cool. I don't think you know how lucky. You're a lucky, lucky lady because very few people hit it the first time. Very few people learn so early when they have a baby. Hey, I need to speak up for what I need.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
I'm hoping it sticks.
It will.
Yeah.
I mean, the job stuck.
The job stuck. And I mean, the baby's mine.
The baby, yeah, you can't get rid of that.
Yeah.
So you want another one?
I do. I really want 3. I come from 3. My fiance comes from 3. My mom came from 3. My dad came from 3.
No way.
We all came from 3s.
Wow.
And I love an odd number. Like I'll go to the grocery store. Like I'm either buying 3, 5, or 7. Like I'm not buying 2s or 4s. But Troy only wants 2. So we'll see. If the second one's a girl, I'll concede. If the second one's a boy.
One more try.
One more try.
One more try.
We'll see. So I'm like, it's totally up to you.
Yeah, right?
You're the decision maker in this
You're
situation.
the shooter, baby.
Okay, so you
Shoot the right blank.
you can make it happen if you really want. It's totally your call. So we'll see.
That's awesome.
I know, but it's just like, yeah, it's exciting. But it's definitely, the more I think of the more kids running around our house, the more insane it feels. But I loved having 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cotty and Bert and Annie.
Yep.
Another trio. I just feel like it's good to have a buffer.
Yeah.
That 2 doesn't always provide. And like, I'm not just having 1 because like
No.
a only child, a boy only child.
Yeah.
That can't be good.
Well, they definitely need somebody to play with.
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
can't be. What only boy children do you know?
Did Jeffrey Dahmer have siblings? I don't think so.
I don't know. So
That's a good point. I don't know a lot of single boys.
You don't, because they don't really exist because they'd be crazy.
Yeah. Because they need
someone to
playmate.
bounce off of.
They need a playmate.
Yeah.
Yes. We wanted to have 3. And then Isla Grace actively tried to kill me on a daily basis. And I was like,
You're
no.
like, no more.
If I have 3, somebody's going to die.
Did you want a boy?
I definitely thought I was definitely sad to find out I was not having a boy.
Okay.
I loved my daughters, obviously.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I didn't want a girl, but I did want a boy. And now that I have 2 girls, and now that I watch Bert with Teddy, I am really glad we did not have a boy. No, not because of Teddy.
No, he would have been thrown around. Bert would have been like,
no.
Okay.
Bert and the boy would have they would have just been like, peace out, bitches. And we would not have the same relationship. If we had a girl and a boy, we would have had a divided family.
Because like you would have always been with Georgia and Bert would always be with the boy.
Yes. Bert would have just focused on the boy. Like he loves Lola.
Yeah.
He spends 0 time with her.
Yeah.
Compared to Teddy.
Yeah.
So, and I would have had a real problem with that. I mean, as fine as his niece and nephew.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than if your dad spends every minute with your son. You know what I mean? With your brother and then with you.
Can relate. I have 2 younger brothers. So I feel like that for sure. Because like my dad coached like my brother's teams.
Yeah.
And like there was more immediate things to bond on when they were younger. Because my dad played sports and could coach their teams. And I did dance. And there wasn't as like much overlap with your dad and the daughter in that sense. Like everything is a little bit more... forced is the wrong word, but I think as the dad have to engage a little bit more when you are raising a daughter because it's not as easy because I'm not playing sports. I was doing something else.
Right.
And that's interesting you bring that up because that definitely did stick, I think, throughout our whole relationship. Everything felt forced or like scheduled to do in terms of like how we interact or do things.
Even still?
Yeah. things have gotten a little more dramatic as the years have gone on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, it was just, and my grandma moved in with us too, so I was really close with my grandma. I always joked that like my middle brother got my mom, my baby brother got my dad, and then my grandma had to move in so that someone could like pay attention to me.
Aww.
But it's true, kind of like everyone kind of had like an adult that like took them to their activities, and I got my grandma, and I love her. She's no longer with us, but she was like my favorite person by far. Like she was the best. But yeah, she was my person that like took me to my activities and stuff.
So if you have 3, what would that look like? Would it look
I don't know.
similar?
Now that I'm thinking about it, now I'm like, shit, I don't think I can have 3.
A third.
I don't know.
You have to hire out a third.
Uh-huh.
You have to have your mom move in.
I have to have my mom move in so someone can handle the third. It's true.
You have to do it like Cottie's parents. They had 2 within 2 years, and then 10 years later.
Yeah, that's true, because then everyone can help with the third.
And then everybody's up and running.
Yeah.
You know, everybody can pitch in with the third.
I think Troy would collapse. He'd be like, absolutely not. Like, we're already out on the other side of the tunnel. Like, we can't start over again.
Well, I don't think Cottie was planned.
No, but my mom and her sisters are the same way. They have a baby sister. My mom is the oldest. Her sister's 2 years younger, and then a baby sister 8 years after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I maybe could have done it like that, but by then I was like in my mid-40s, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
and I was by myself all the time.
Yeah.
So having 3 by yourself.
Plus a baby.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah. And like Bert was like always on the road.
Always on the road. Always, yeah. There's no way I could have done it. No way.
Yeah.
And we couldn't afford a nanny. You know, I didn't have a nanny.
Yeah.
I was it.
I'm just like thinking about Bert on the road and like you at home all the time.
Yeah, it's funny when you think you can't do it,
Mhm.
right? When I can't do it, you can.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
I'm not that special.
I mean,
You know, I'm just a regular person. And
it's your southern accent. You already seem more like a mom.
There's my southern accent. I don't know about that. Not a lot of, well, I guess a lot of sweet moms in the South. But what, as you look forward, as you look ahead,
Mhm.
is there anything that makes you nervous?
Yeah, I hope I can like answer questions for him. Because I feel like I still don't know the answers to some things.
But that's the thing about kids.
You can make it up. You can lie.
No, do not do that. No.
Okay.
That's also a Kreischer family tradition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's when your dad was a Blue Angel Air Force pilot. That's when your dad, and I'm like, why are you telling them that? They are not going to believe anything you say.
Yeah.
They are really smart. You know, with my kids, if I didn't know something, I would always say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think knowing that you don't know makes it okay for them not to know.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it where you're a little more human.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you grow up, we all grow up thinking our parents walk on water to at least to a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you fall harder and faster when the parents always have the answer, whether the answer is right or wrong. I think it's really powerful to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out together. Or you figure this out, I'll figure that out. Let's come back and talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I've always done with my kids is I've always said, I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the answer to that? And then Bert will go, well, I do. The popcorn goes into the tunnel. And they're like, what? That's not even, what are you talking about? He would just lie. He'd rather lie to get them to stop asking a question.
Yeah.
Then actually say,
go on with it.
Let's do a little more work and figure this out together.
No, I got to think about it. That's for sure. I should do that. Also, I'm already stressed about the Santa Claus conversation.
Are you?
Because I believe in Santa Claus far too long.
Oh, we had to tell Georgia when she was 13.
I was 13 too.
She was 13.
My mom was just too good.
Yeah. Oh, we were good. You know what we did? We created a hidden video and caught Santa Claus in our living room.
That's too good.
Yeah,
that's
she
too good.
13 years old.
I was 13 too. Yeah. Me and Georgia have this in common because we used to go to Hawaii every year because that's where my mom's from for Christmas. Or maybe not every year, but one year we went to Hawaii for Christmas. And we left on like the 18th or something. And I remember we got in the car. We all got in the car. And then we drove to the airport. I'm like, okay, if there are presents when we get back, like Santa is real. Because how the heck is that going to happen?
Right.
If Santa's not real. And we got back and there were presents everywhere. And my mom was like, apparently she was like running, like sprinting inside, setting it up. But I was like, you got in the car. Like I was in the car.
Right?
Like I was already 13. It wasn't like I was when this happened, probably 11 or 12. Like I was already old enough to know if we were like sitting in the driveway for like 20 minutes.
Right.
I'm like, Santa's real. Santa's real. And then when I was 13, I like got some scooter that like they left the shipping label on the back after I had opened it. And like after all that, you were so reckless with the shipping label.
That's so funny.
But apparently my baby brothers were like, yeah, I knew when I was like 8. I'm like, so you knew before I knew? Like what? Like I was the last one?
Oh, Isla figured it out when she was about 8.
Like, oh God. What am I going to say? Were you like, the magic of Santa is still real? I just get sad thinking about it. I love Santa.
It's hard. It's hard because you go like, well, I'm basically telling you I've been lying to you
for the last 8 years.
And I say I don't lie.
Yeah.
But what we did is we were like, listen, this is a tradition that happens like in society.
Yeah.
So Santa's not real. I mean, Isla figured out when she was about 8 years old, I think Gigi was babysitting. And Bert and I were in Australia. And because Bert was working on Travel Channel in Australia. And I was like, well, I want to go with you.
Yeah.
Gigi was staying with the girls. Isla lost a tooth. And Gigi panicked and like called one of my neighbors. I'm here by myself with these kids. She didn't leave me any kind of tooth fairy like booty. I don't even know what to give her. What do I do? And Isla busted her being the tooth fairy. Oh but Isla didn't say anything. She played along, but she went, if Nana is the tooth fairy, then who is Santa Claus?
Oh, wow. So she just went down the line.
She just figured it out. She was about 8.
Oh my God.
But she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything to Georgia.
Yeah.
Which would have meant Georgia was 10.
Yeah.
And then 3 years later, Bert and I had a conversation. We were like, we're going to have to tell her. Like, she really believes in Santa Claus. And she did one of those things where we sat in the room with her and Isla, and we were like, we got to tell you something.
So you just were like, we're to tell Isla at the same time.
It's going to come clean. Okay. Yep. Santa Claus isn't real. And Isla goes, duh. And we saw George's face go, I knew that. It was literally like shock and awe. And then
like, gotta cover
I'm
my
totally
tracks.
playing this off.
Oh my God.
I knew that.
What was the year of the video? Like, when did you guys make the video? How old were they?
Probably around 9, 8. No, I don't know. Maybe
because like, did Isla already know
7
too? And you
9?
guys still went through all that?
I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I don't know.
Because like that would be funny too. She's like, God, my parents.
Georgia was like,
I mean, you can't blame her. You guys were too good. You
hook, line, and sinker. She was in it.
I guess it's always the first kid too. I mean, me and Georgia.
Totally.
We just fully believe everything our parents say.
You did. You were good girls.
We were.
You were good girls. Well, this is a short podcast, but I actually have to wrap it up.
I know. I got to come back. That was fun.
Please come back.
I loved that.
I know I have like 18,000 more questions for you.
Who knows what I'm going to be feeling in the next short 8 weeks. I'll be feeling like a brand new person again.
I feel like you're doing so well.
Thank you.
I mean, you really look like you're doing really, really well.
It also helps when I can wash my hair. You caught me on a good day. I had to wash my hair a couple days ago, so it stuck since the weekend. I look much better.
You know what? Here's another piece of advice you didn't ask for, but I'm going to give you anyway.
I'll take all the unsolicited advice.
Not long ago, you may not have this problem, but I was so in the weeds because I was kind of a single parent for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That I find myself just putting on whatever was comfortable.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, it just gets crappier and dumpier and crappier and dumpier. Mm-hmm. And actually not that long ago, I decided, I was like, I think this is actually making me feel bad about myself. Mm-hmm. I think I need to actually like get dressed, put on some makeup and do my hair for no reason. Mm-hmm. Like I could do it.
Yeah.
But I think I might need to actually start doing that. Maybe not every day, but a couple days a week to feel like pretty.
Yeah. Because you lose yourself in just like the mess.
Yeah. Because it's never ending.
Yeah.
And you wake up the next day and do it again.
Yeah.
Wake up the next day and do it again.
That. I'm a firm believer in a good outfit.
Yeah, and
I
the
love
makeup,
a good outfit.
hair, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been somebody who's been like, I can't wait to go shopping. Yeah. That was never me. So I didn't really put two and two together.
Yeah.
That how I felt about myself had to do with what I was wearing or how I looked. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not superficial like that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when you look really disheveled and run down and sloppy, it can't help but affect how you feel about yourself.
I bet it's also just like the getting up and like getting ready. Because then at the end of the day, there's like, that's a clear start to your day. And then like at the end of the day, you like get ready for bed. You like take that all off. Like there's some like period to like, that was the day and now this is the night. Like it just kind of separates things a little bit. But yeah, I'm a firm believer in a good outfit.
Totally. That'd be my other advice. Yeah. Journal 3 or 4 sentences a day and get into a good outfit.
Perfect. I can do that.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
So come back again, okay?
Please.
Talk
you know where to find me.
Time. I do.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you.